Welcome, friends of space and fans of the Celestial Theater. Tonight, October 8, 2005, for the benefit of World Space Week, the community theater troupe known as the Celestial Theater do hereby present Act 1 of 2 titled Light Plays. Please note that 2 of the main sponsors for World Space Week are the United Nations Office of Space Affairs and Space Fleet. Our theater members for tonight are Cosmo playing the Blacklight Knight and myself, Copper Tip Fringe Face. We present this effort not only to you, the educator, and your students here on Earth, but to the other ones who reside throughout the brightness of the Milky Way galaxy, and even those in the blackness of deep space. We also acknowledge our intimate live gathering of close friends and fans, and hope they survive this treatise for the visual cortex. This play will also be an educational primer for Sandy, our mascot dragon, who will be launched into deep space next week in Antarctica to find Joey Jones behind the fabled gates of Bonkersburg. And I need just a little drink. This play has its origins in June 2005 from a worldwide light party called Pathèse de la Lumière, organized out of Paris, France. Let's begin to delve into the Galactic Doo-Wacadoo Dictionary definition for the word light. L I G H T. How can the Celestial Theater properly explore the issue at hand? We can do it by tuning our mind to a poetic whirlwind of light and color. We need to delve rapidly into our imagination, so imaginary, and map out the electric pathways from start to finish. Let the journey of light begin. But stop the lights. Stop right now. We need to shift gears back to our galactic dictionary. Light as noun, 18 entries. Light as verb, 1 entry. Light as adverb, 1 entry. Light as transitive verb, 5 entries. Light as interpretive verb, 2 entries. Light as adjective, 4 entries. Light as phrasal verb, 2 entries. Optics. The study of light, an interaction of light and matter is termed optics. The observation of and study of optical phenomena, such as rainbows, offers many clues as to the nature of light, as well to much enjoyment. And I'll take a heavy dose of lumens right about now. We continue. Please stop. Please allow us to wind it back to our galactic dictionary. The wavelengths of the electromagnetic spectrum immediately outside the range of the human eye is able to perceive are called ultraviolet, UV at the short wavelength, high frequency end, and infrared IR at the long wavelength, long frequency end. Although humans cannot see IR, they do perceive the near IR as heat through receptors in the skin. UV radiation is not directly perceived by humans except in a very delayed fashion, as overexposure of the skin to UV light can cause sunburn or skin cancer. And underexposure can cause depression due to vitamin D deficiency. However, because UV is a higher frequency radiation than visible light, it can easily cause materials to fluoresce visible light. It can easily cause materials to fluoresce. It can easily cause materials to. It can easily cause materials. It can easily cause. It can easily. It can. It. What is that? We're gonna find out. Now we're back. I think you got the point about that for now. Now we need to bring it down, wind it down. Back to the book. In our galactic dictionary. Here's another set of facts about light. Light, visible electromagnetic radiation. Of the entire electromagnetic spectrum, the human eye is sensitive to only a tiny part. The part that is called light. And that light has a wavelength of a range from about 350 to 400 nanometers to about 750 to 800 nanometers. The electromagnetic particle and wave theories of light. The earliest scientific theories of the nature of light were proposed around the end of the 17th century. In 1690, it seems, Christian Huygens proposed a novel theory to explain light as a wave phenomenon. However, a rival theory was offered by Sir Isaac Newton in 1704. Newton, who had discovered the visible spectrum in 1666, held that light is composed of tiny particles or corpuscles emitted by luminous bodies. By combining this corpuscular theory with his laws of mechanics, he was able to explain many optical phenomena, and well, he should. Newton's corpuscular theory of light held sway for more than 100 years and was favored over the wave theory, partly because of Newton's great prestige, and partly because not enough experimental evidence existed to provide an adequate basis of comparison between the two theories. Finally, important experiments were done on the diffraction and interference of light by A.J. Fresnel and Thomas Young in 1801 that could only be interpreted in terms of the wave theory. The polarization of light was still another phenomenon that could only be explained by the wave theory. Thus, in the 19th century, the wave theory became the dominant theory. The wave theory received additional support from the electromagnetic theory of James Clerk Maxwell, 1864, who showed that electric and magnetic fields were propagated together, and that their speed was identical to the speed of light. Maxwell's theory was confirmed experimentally with the discovery of radio waves by Heinrich Hertz in 1886. It thus became clear that visible light is a form of electromagnetic radiation, constituting only a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Modern theory of the nature of light. With the acceptance of the electromagnetic theory of light, only two general problems remain. One of these was that of the luminiferous ether, a hypothetical medium suggested as the courier of light waves. The ether was assumed to have some very unusual properties, such as being massless and having a high elasticity. And now, what about the unusual properties of the luminiferous ether? What if our performers were to go there for a quick little examination and experimentation? What would that look like? Let me step back away for a moment while we go play in the luminiferous ether of the massless mind. Didn't turn out too well, did it? We continue our reading. And I'm back. And you're back too. From the other end to the safety net of the bird's nest space place. Please go take a break. We now continue our narrative on learning more about light. Luminous and illuminated bodies. In general, vision is due to the stimulation of the optic nerve in the eye by light either directly from its source or indirectly after reflection from other objects. A luminous body, such as the sun or another star or a light bulb, is thus distinguished from an illuminated body, such as the moon and most of the other objects in the sky one sees. The amount and type of light given off by a luminous body or reflected by an illuminated body is of concern to the branch of physics known as photometry. Illuminated bodies not only reflect light, but sometimes also transmit it. Transparent objects such as glass. And some liquids allow light to pass through them. Translucent objects, such as tissue paper and certain types of glass, also allow light to pass through them, but diffuse, scattered in the process, so that an observer cannot see a clear image of whatever lies on the other side of the object. Opaque objects do not allow light to pass through them at all. Some transparent and translucent objects allow only light of a certain wavelength to pass through them and thus appear colored. The colors of opaque objects are caused by the selective reflection of certain wavelengths and absorption of others. Then we move on to some other meanings, such as light as in sound or color, free from anything that dims or dulls. Light, silly or trivial. Light intended primarily as entertainment, not serious or profound. So, what can we do with free sound? Can we be silly but not dull, and then is that entertainment? To me, that sounds like we make a little bit of music in the form of a cosmic cacophony. Go do it! Go do it! Silence. And we thank you all for the wonderful concerto tonight. Please give yourself a round of applause. Well, we're not quite done yet. Okay, I think something happened over here. Just let me get over here for a second. Hold on, folks. Something just flew in through the window. Oh, what's over here? What's over here? Alexander, Sandy. The noise attracted her. Sandy's the noise attracted her. Okay, Sandy, what's going on tonight? How did you get in here? You're supposed to be getting ready for your great trip. Okay, let's get back to the script for a second here and see. Sandy, we are so happy to see you here tonight. Thank you. Okay. As you can see, the noise attracted Sandy, the mascot dragon, who will be flying off to find Bonkersburg next Saturday night about this time at Arctica. Sandy, talk to me just a little bit about something you learned tonight. Will our treatise on light be helpful to you? Okay. She said that we should have more fireworks because it's beginning to smoke in here. What could she mean by that? It's beginning to smoke in here. What could be going on with that? I don't smell any smoke here. Oh, wait a minute, here's some smoke. I see what happened. It's just the Blacklight Knight turned on the fiber, that's all. Well, that's okay. We can handle a little fog in there. But Sandy, we cannot use fireworks indoors at the Bird's Nest Space Place. You know that. Well, okay, what else have you learned? Tell me something else you learned tonight. Okay, she did learn something else. She told me that light that is all of the same wavelength and phase, which means all of the waves are in step with one another, is called coherent light. One of the most important modern applications of light has been the development of a source of coherent light, as in the laser. We do have some of those on hand tonight. Yes, we do. We do have lasers. As you can see.
The laser martini. I've heard of it.
I should take a drink of that. Okay, now we found out about lasers and we know that the fog is going ever so carefully. Okay, now what else do we have here after lasers? Yes, the lasers are on. Sandy, you might want to find a safe perch somewhere. When these performers start mixing foggers and lasers, things can get a bit crazy in here. I wonder where all this is headed. According to my script, we're about done. The sound concert has ended. You heard that? That was concerto number 186000 for all you note takers out there.
That's a dandy.
Okay. Here, let me set you to the side. You can be so fragile, but you said just wait a minute. You're not done yet, are you? Okay, don't get upset about things. I just set you back down here. She's not done yet. What do we have here? Okay, make it quick, Sandy. The show's about ready to end. She said, tie down your visual cortex because we're at sensation of perceiving light. Going on a brightness right to a sudden light that made me blink. Bonkersburg! We're going to Bonkersburg! Bonkers! Ride with us to Bonkersburg! Make some noise! Ride with us to Bonkersburg! We gotta prime Sandy for the great journey to Bonkersburg. She has to know what it's like, doesn't she? Sandy, have you learned anything tonight about what's going on here? As I hope we have. Sandy, what else have you learned? You gotta have more information. Come on, Sandy. More! This ain't good enough. Make some noise. All right. Make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise. Make some noise. Make some Thank you for tonight's presentation by us, the Celestial Theater, and you, our enjoyable friends, who have been so kind to us tonight. We thank you. This is the end.